Righty. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. I'm doing well.
That's good to know. Well, I want to thank you for doing this assignment with me. Before we begin, I want to let you know that whatever we talk about here today, it's confidential. No one would know what we talk about unless we talk about something that I think might be harmful to you or to someone else that could cause harm. Other than that, it will stay here. And because it is an assignment, the professor of this class that I'm taking will be another person that would have access to this video. But other than that, if we think that something or someone is in danger, we would have to speak up. Other than that, we're good. We're good. So how's your day going?
They're easy. It was easy going today, Saturday. Didn't do much of anything, relaxed. Actually had ice cream for breakfast, so that felt good.
Ice cream's always good. Ice cream's always good for breakfast.
Uh,
How are
yeah,
you feeling with all these things that are going around with the long quarantine that we had and the issues that are going on right now?
I feel like sometimes it's a little confusing just because it's like, if I'm in my own element, if I'm not paying, social media, Facebook or not anything like that and stuff like that, um, I feel productive or I feel like, and then I'm not, I'm not, I do miss socializing, but I don't miss it to the point where it's like, oh, I want to go and do something. No, it's like I'm fine being home. Um, but then of course it's like with social media and everything like that, it's kind of one of those things where it's like you getting the feeling like, oh, I should be doing more or I'm not doing this or that. Just like somehow we're supposed to be, I don't know, creating something and making something at home and all this other stuff. And so that part is, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like trying to balance, like just know that, like, you know what, no, like don't need to go make a garden.
So do you feel pressure by social media to do something productive with your
No,
day during the
I
pandemic or
I
the
think that's part of why I had ice cream this morning too, because it was kind of like just like a fuck it, like really like I'm grown and in my own home and I can do what I want to do. So that was part of it, and kind of not, I guess, kind of not pressure, but just that getting now on the irritated
yeah.
side of making things look okay when it's not okay. And it's like, oh, we can get through this. Yeah, we're gonna get through it, but at the same time, um, we don't have to be productive in the sense of something to show or being like, oh, I'm doing something positive, and because it's not. I mean, I'm there's like today. Besides the ice cream, I think I like took a shower, but then I was just, I Netflix Shameless for the first time. I think I'm on episode 4. um, and just trying to, be okay with that.
Yeah. So it's funny though, and I understand how that little action, having ice cream for breakfast in the morning, had so much meaning to you because since March till now, we have been following so many rules that have been set up. To begin with, we couldn't even go outside. Then when we were allowed to go outside, there were so many different rules that we have, and how just a little thing like having ice cream for breakfast made you feel good. That's a very good strategy to use to keep ourselves feeling in control of a bunch of things that are going on that are out our hands, under control. That's good. That's good to know. That's a good strategy to keep ourselves going and feeling good.
Um,
You said
I'm
that
not,
Netflix made you shame you. What do you mean by that?
no, the show Shameless.
Okay, I misunderstood. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
watching that all
I
day.
never, I've never seen. I've had people recommend it quite a bit, even my kids and stuff, and I hadn't seen it. And so then today, I think that's kind of one of the other things. It's like I try to watch things out of my norm, or things that wouldn't. I'm not really like a sitcom person anymore. I don't. So that was something different to watch that.
And I
It was
think,
it,
and I think you're right. I follow social media a lot. I shouldn't, but I do. And a few months ago, there was a huge debate because some people came out with a meme that said that if you don't learn to play an instrument, you don't learn a new language, or you don't acquire a new skill during this quarantine, it is not that you don't have any time; it's that you don't want to. So they were trying to shame people, and some other people started making memes saying that you didn't have to learn anything, you don't have to be productive, you don't have to do anything. It's just live your life and keep going on. And it's true. It's true. Now you say it. It even me that I follow. I collect perfumes. Even then, there's like a little, I want to say, competition to see who buys the most perfumes during this quarantine and who tries out the most perfumes and who's being more productive in the Facebook groups. So yeah, you're right. You're right. It is getting. I didn't think about that, Brent. Till you brought it up, but it's something very interesting that's probably in the mind of many other people.
that there's that, and then right now with what's going on, when we're talking about like just the forefront of racism and racial injustice, for me, it's really helped me analyze how I feel about things. I think when the protests really first started kicking off and everything, I knew that's not what I wanted to do or participate in. Like that wasn't something it was not right for me to do. And then so that kind of thing is like, oh well, then what am I gonna do and stuff. And because me, I'm very politically aware of the structure of our government and how what its basis is and all that stuff. So for me, like the capitalism and everything is like I like it. I like that everything's being brought to a point to where it can't be ignored. And I think the protests are their purpose and everything. However, I think that the real change requires a lot more work.
You're right.
So I've talked to a couple people, and I have a couple people that I have that I still that I'm going to be talking to for more information and their thoughts and stuff, because I'm looking at starting to be active or like organizing again. But I've also been, like I said, I've been able to like analyze a lot of things and realize that what I see right now is not something that I want to get involved in. And being okay with that, being okay with like not having to just jump into something. And again, like going back with that productivity is not feeling guilty for, okay, I'm not, I'm not going to a protest, or I'm not, you know what I mean, doing this or that or whatever. And just trying to figure out how to promote it in people's daily life.
You were right. It was very tense during those days. I remember social media was very active. There was people who were there and they were broadcasting everything live. It's a little, it's not a little, it's a lot different in this time, how we find out about things, what's going on. And
Mm-hmm.
you're right, it was not the right way to do it, but I was surprised and I was amazed how people were protecting the businesses from other people who were just trying to loot or steal. How do you feel about that? It was just that I was very because I've seen this happen in other places. I know some riots happened in LA, but it was a little before my time. But it was just so close to home that they burned a bank down and they were breaking windows. And I never thought it would see something like this in San Diego. It was just, how did you feel about that?
I felt it was like it's in necessary.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I don't, one, that it was a bank, like that's symbolic, like that's
Yeah.
necessary, that symbolism and stuff like that. And that's the part of like, oh, the property damage. For me, it's like the looting, it's going to be there. That's going to happen. But that wasn't the protesting. Like, you know what I mean? That's the part where I saw one of the best comparisons was when someone was like, okay, everybody wants to, oh, categorize or stereotype the protesters as the looters, and oh, well, look at the, and put them all in this one thing of being looters, and oh, that they're bad. And it's like, okay, but when we say there's a bad cop, then you bring up, no, there's good cops too. So then why don't you use that same logic with the protesters? You're missing the message that they had. You're missing the message of what was being protested. You're missing the message that they were organized and everything, because it wasn't everyone, you know what I mean? It wasn't the protest that looted.
Yeah.
It was those looters. So it's like, that kind of thing is like, there's the necessity of it is because people have to feel unsafe and uncomfortable to realize that the daily life of a lot of people is unsafe and uncomfortable. True. In the system. So I feel that it serves a purpose.
Yeah. You said that you didn't feel there was something that you wanted to be part of it. Why do you think that
because
there?
Because I when I was younger, I protested, I marched, I did, so it's like, for me, it's kind of like I would be more infuriated participating in that, because of the fact that we still have to do this. We're still doing this. So that's, for me, that's why it wasn't for me, because I can watch it, like, be angered and everything like that. But it's, for me, if I was there, I would not be like calm and peace. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, like I think burning down that bank was good. Like,
yeah, I understand.
So like
you're like saying that your generation fought for change, did something for change, and this generation is doing the same thing because we have not achieved that change. We still have facing the same problems that they should have changed, but they haven't. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So that it would feel you were more anger than actually. Yeah, okay.
So that's how come for me it's like, okay, taking the time to think of people I can talk to and see about networking with, and figuring out different change, things that can be done. I have some more people to talk to. Some people are acquaintances from when I used to organize. Some are not, and everything. And this, I have all kinds of different ideas or solutions to stuff that I mean? I'm like, I know some of the stuff I say, it sounds crazy sometimes. So kind of
it's just, we all have our ideas, we all have our points of views, and they should be respected.
So looking at trying to work things out that way. And I figured, because for me it's like, I've putting my energy into something that's either gonna cause a minute change or no change at all. I can't do that anymore.
This is very interesting how it sparked these activities. It sparked in you the idea of helping or being part of this movement, but not in the same way. Since you have the experience and you've done it before, now you can try different things with your experience and the knowledge you have and the people that you know, and be productive. And maybe, because this has been done before and we're still in the same place with the ideas that you have, when the people you might get different results. And it is very interesting the way you're thinking about things, and it's a very mature, because like you said, it would have been easier just to be angry and go outside, and the harder part is just to keep calm, to keep cool, and find a different way to get the justice that people are seeking.
Yep. So that's what I'm doing, little by little. That's the other part of it, is that time. Like, I think with quarantine, it's really it's like stop time. You know what I mean? Like things aren't. I have time, and I like that.
That is true. That is true. It was a commodity or a privilege that we didn't have as a society, especially here in America at fast pace. Everything was in schedule, and I find myself trying to wait for the weekend when I don't need to wait for the weekend, and I haven't gotten over that. You're right. I haven't gotten over that set of mind that wait till Saturday, and I'm like, why wait till Saturday? Because every day is the same right now. Basically, every day is Saturday. Every day is Sunday. There isn't really anything that's stopping me from doing this or that. You're right. It's just something that we never had in our hands, and it's a little bit hard to manage it.
I really, and this one is like the. I think one of my first irritations with quarantine and when we went like the working from home and stuff was that we were still sticking to like the pretty much same schedule, our schedule, and it was like it was kind of irritating because it's like we're in the middle of a pandemic. You're telling me we can't start later in the day, like it was just kind of one of those things where for me, it was just that part was irritating, and I think now, like especially it's been so long, like what is this now? March, April, May,
July
July
5th. What is it? July 17th, I believe. 18th already. Oh my God.
So like now, being able to, and especially like I said, these last 2 weeks I haven't really done anything, and it's just kind of being able to I eased into like no, like I can not work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I can work at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. I'm getting the work done.
I want to congratulate you because it is very difficult to find somebody who has not who has not been boxed in, if you know what I'm saying, to a, because you're right. For me, it was weird. It was just, I used to waking up at this time, going to work, coming back, and I have so much time in my hands that it was just weird. I was getting even anxious, depressed, and I had to work a lot with that. And for you, it was so easy to just move forward with the new, they call it new normalcy that's going around. But that's very, very, very mature, very good of your part.
Thank you. I mean, I it was kind of pretty much kind of thrown at me because like usually I would be working Petco Park. So March, April, May, and that first part of June, I would be working 2 jobs. And then with June and July, my schedule would be the baseball schedule. So it'd be like, daytime sleep, and then, afternoon, go to work and not be off until whether midnight or 2 in the morning, and doing that. And then my weekends where, the games were in the afternoon, Sunday where games were earlier. I mean, Saturday were evening games. So then it'd be like work, come home, get maybe 2 or 3 hours sleep and go back to work. And then Sunday would be a full day and be off maybe around between 6 or 8 p.m. So that kind of like, it was just kind of, the gratitude really would kind of like jump started me to, and like, oh wow, I have time, was because I wasn't working Petco. Like it was just, it's like, and this is in 15 years, this is the first like summer I've had off.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
it was a big chunk of time that was like, oh wow. So I know that was one of the like, just feeling happy about it. I mean, because I get to enjoy my grandkids, be home, enjoy my, like, be home, and not, my home wasn't just come sleep
Yeah,
and go to
and,
work.
and that's great. In the middle of all these negative things that are going on, if you can just grasp the positive things and cherish them and go with that, that's a great technique and a great way of viewing things and keeping yourself healthy emotionally and keep going. Well, Serena, that was it for our time. I appreciate that you allowed me to have this talk with you, and we'll continue next week.
Okay.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you very much.